This is taxes from the Predatory Lending Network talking to you. Now, the unemployment report is out throughout the galaxy, and unemployment came in at 8.2%, and underemployment came in at 14.5%. So, Superman, what do you think of the current unemployment situation we're facing in this galaxy?
I think it's kind of messed up, and I think we need to create a ton more jobs, for the unemployed. A lot of the economy is going downhill, and the way to bring it up would be to put more jobs out there.
How do you think we would do that?
Well, create more job environments, kind of like what we have out here. A bunch of us had a hard time finding work, so we created our own job. And that is to put on a costume and come out and be like Hollywood ambassadors. And we meet and greet the tourists for tips. We're not paid by anybody but the tourist.
Well, interesting. Now, normally when unemployment improves, temporary workers increase. But temporary worker job growth was unchanged this month. What do you think about temporary workers being unchanged this month?
I think that there should always be a thing for temporary workers. It actually makes the workplace a happier place, because then you have your temp workers that'll come in and sit in for someone that maybe can't be there. Maybe they have a doctor's appointment for their child or something, so then you call up one of the temps and say, hey, can you come in, for this duration of time?
Now, there was increases in job growth, and the banks hired 15,000 people as debt collectors to help collect all those unpaid debts that people have had. What do you think of banks hiring 1,500 people to collect debt collection?
I think that that's pretty messed up. When you look at the economy and how everything has kind of gone on a downcline, how are you going to send a debt collector over to collect something from someone that doesn't have it? I think that instead of the banks foreclosing on people, what they should do is work out some sort of payment plan or work something out so that the people can keep their residence.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the folks throughout the galaxy?
Quit chasing people, banks, and keep it safe out there.
Okay, so in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network talking to you. Now, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network talking to you. Now, unemployment came out this week, and it is at 8.2%, and underemployment is at 14.5%. What do you think of the current unemployment situation we're facing here in this galaxy?
It's terrible. All we're basically doing is creating the minimum amount of jobs. It's not helping us create anything or get out of the situation we're in, period.
Now, usually when there's job growth, temporary workers tend to increase, but we've seen no change in temporary workers this month. What do you think of the current situation of temporary workers?
I think there's just no work for them, that people aren't really interested in hiring right now, that all the corporations are holding on to their money.
And what is hiring is banks. Banks hired 15,000 people as debt collectors to help collect debts from their unpaid balances. What do you think of banks hiring 1,500 people to collect unpaid debts?
I think that's disgraceful, since they're the ones who gave out the loans that put the people in the houses that they couldn't afford to begin with, and everybody knows that. If they don't, they should know it.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the folks throughout the galaxy?
I'll tell you what, we need a new president. Say goodbye to Obama.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network talking to you.
There you go, babe.
Now, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network talking to you. Now, the unemployment came out throughout the galaxy, and unemployment came in at 8.2%, and underemployment came in at 14.5%. So, Catwoman, what do you think about this current situation we face in this galaxy?
It really sucks, and it's not getting any better, and we've been waiting and waiting. Obama didn't do shit about it, so I guess we're going to have to wait till somebody else does something if they do. Otherwise, the country can just continue to, I don't know, fall to pieces. What can I say? Just about everybody I know is only working part-time or does not have a job right now, so that's pretty pathetic.
Now, you mentioned part-time workers. Temporary worker job growth was unchanged this month. What do you think about the current situation for temporary workers?
Well, not really. What I wasn't talking about was really temporary. It was just that people are working part-time instead of full-time because their hours have been cut. So a lot of people who were working full-time are now working part-time. I don't know about seasonal work and stuff like that, because this isn't really the season for it unless there's some summer jobs and this and that. But I mean, I don't really see that helping out the country that much. Summer jobs isn't going to save the economy.
Now, the people that were hiring were banks. Banks hired 15,000 people as debt collectors to help collect debts on all those unpaid loans out there. What do you think of banks hiring people as debt collectors?
Well, the banks want their money even though nobody else has any money. If people had money, they'd be paying their debts. But obviously, the banks feel that they're obligated to get their money, and so they're hiring a bunch of people to harass everyone else who has no jobs or money to get it. But you can't get water out of a rock. So if these people aren't working and they have no money, you can hire 1 million debt collectors and they won't collect anything. Seriously, if you don't have money, you can't pay your bills. End of story. If you have a job and you have money, you can pay your bills. It's very simple. Maybe I should be in charge.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the folks who want the galaxy?
Yeah, when it becomes time for Catwoman to run the country, then you know things are getting pretty bad. Meow meow.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network talking to you. Okay, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network talking to you. Now, the unemployment report came out throughout the galaxy, and unemployment came in at 8.2%, and underemployment came in at 14.5%. What do you think about the current unemployment situation we're in now, Bob?
Yeah, I think it's real bad, but pretty soon it's going to come up soon, about the next couple of months.
Okay. Now, normally temporary job growth increases, and that's a sign of a growing economy, but the temporary workers that were unchanged this month. What do you think about the current situation for temporary workers?
I think it's kind of down right now. The currency chains have been down drastic with a lot of unemployment. When I listen, there's a lot of people who are unemployed that's not willing to get jobs because of certain type of issues. Now they said if you have a Facebook page, they go to your Facebook to hire you for your job, which I think is kind of crap. You know what I'm saying? It's violation of constitutional rights. But I think no matter it is discrimination if you have to go to your Facebook and give up your Facebook code in order to get hired on a job. But I think that's full of bogus baloney. We Americans, and we out of work, and we need jobs real badly. And Barack Obama is bringing the economy back up by economic growth, by foreign policies to bring more jobs to America.
Now, the one group of people that were hiring were the banks. Banks hired 15,000 people to go as debt collectors to help collect unpaid debts. What do you think of banks hiring 15,000 people as debt collectors?
Well, I think it's great to hire people, but going after the debts, I think it's kind of baloney.
Okay, so in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the beings throughout the galaxy?
Yes. Hey guys, I got a new tip, guys. Go out and buy some foreign currency. They're about to come up, guys, no matter where the country they're from. That way you have a lot of ends and be out of unemployment and create jobs for the Americans where we can work, other than foreigners working for them. Okay?
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network talking to you.
You.